Good day, everybody. It's Max, and welcome back to the Dyson Sphere Program, the 12 Colonies. That's right. We are working on the Dyson Sphere around the blue giant star, and I am back here on PyCon 3. Or no, I'm on Scorpio 3. I'm on a 3. I'm on a 3. Yeah, PyCon doesn't have a 3. It only has a 1. It's it's only got a single planet, so I guess there's no 3 there. Of course, I've just come back here to kind of investigate things, kind of tune things up. Of course, a blue giant star Dyson Sphere takes a lot of rockets doing a lot of things, and we needed more rockets with more things. So we, of course, have come back here to kind of just brush up on storing some rockets so as we can get ready for the next launching sequence. And at the same time, make sure, all the supplies are running really well. So, for example, one of the reasons why the rockets have gotten pretty low is because, you start to have a few supply problems. Turned out that I was having an issue getting magnetic rings, or supermagnetic rings, and that's because actual rings were running low, and that's because iron was running low, and on and on and on, right? Supply and logistics problems. So, of course, we went through, we had a look at that. Of course, then we wanted to save up on solar sails. That being said, we want to be able to launch more of these quicker, faster, right? Now, obviously, once you start to form a sphere around a star, any of the sails that are out there rotating around the star get sucked into the sphere, and then really it's very, very almost near impossible to get any of them solar sails to then cloud around it until the entire sphere is filled in or your areas are filled in. That being said, we wanted to be able to launch what we can launch, and of course that's one thing we wanted to do. So my stop here, of course, was to make sure that we had the ability just to make sure everything was working good. And again, this is always cool to watch. Like, I mean, look at that. You got multiple ships going into the gas giant here at the moment. We got ships coming in and out of this planet just constantly. It is really cool to watch this part. You got ships coming in, dropping stuff off. You've got other ships leaving and taking stuff out. No, it's not that button. I know there's a button here, and I don't know why I keep forgetting what the button is, but anyway, it doesn't really matter too much. It is pretty cool. That is for sure, right? Yeah. Just rotate around there for a minute there, big guy. It is really cool just to see the ships coming in and out, all about just doing things, doing so many things. It is really cool. That's for sure. Where am I? All right, that's cool. But we're going to do, in this episode, of course, we're going to continue building with the Dyson Sphere. And we're also going to have some tours of some planets. Of course, so we'll come back to this and the tour of that planet. Of course, we're going to have a look at some of the other ones as well. But let's now jump on over to where is PyCon? There it is. Let's now jump on over to PyCon to see how we're doing over there. And not enough warpers. Let me tell you, that would not be good. I actually I don't know, it must have been several hours ago. I actually ran out of warpers. I'd warped to a system. Had come out of warp because, of course, my left hand had missed the planet. And when I was out of warpers, I had to travel like 7 light years as fast as I could go. It was not good. You really do miss out. You really do miss out on that stuff, All right, so we're just gonna jump on over here to PyCon. I've been doing a little bit of upgrade work over here as well, so as we can get ready to relaunch round 2 into the system. And of course, we're also going to have a quick look here at what we're actually building for a sphere. Now, again, time is not on my side, right? In fact, we're going to jump out of here just a second. Boom! Look at that. We're almost 10 AU away. And this is the outer edge band of this thing. I mean, it is really cool. And yeah, we're launching some sales. Yeah, that's a thing we do here. We are sale launching, and so of course we do want to start up. We want to get a couple more time lapses of stuff being made and built and all that stuff. So of course we are shooting sales and things. We're doing things. Of course, now to actually have a look at the sphere, as mentioned, I've been the game has already updated. It updated 3 days ago as the making of this video, and of course, there's a whole new background programming, I guess, to the save files and stuff. I'm assuming that means that even if they update the mods that I'm using, chances are they're not going to work with this save file. So I have not shut this game down in nearly a week, right? And this is why we aren't going to be able to fill this whole sphere in. That being said, we are going to we're gonna plug away at this and get these filled in. And there, of course, is what we're doing. We're just building a nice. It's a fairly simplified pattern design. I mean, we're already up to 80 gigawatts. I mean, that's a bucketload of power. That's some power right there, right? We got lots to fill in here yet. So, like for example, if we take one of these nodes, like we'll take this node, right? So each of these nodes wants, some of these nodes want 26,000 sales. Like this node wants 40,000 sales, right? Now we do 10,000 a minute. That's not really the problem. It's just, it takes time. And one of the mods I should have installed is, I guess there's a mod out there that actually allows you to pull in the sales faster. I really should have installed that before the game updated. Unfortunately, there's no way for me to get that now. Again, I almost fully suspect that this file will not work if I exit out of the game. So if I lose power, I'm done. Okay? I mean, it is what it is. But we are going to keep cooking. We're going to keep going on this thing. We're shoving sales at this as much as we can, and we're going to keep trying to do something with it. Now, let's actually get on to the planet. I mean, we're still 9. Well, we're like 8 AU out here. And I mean, we are on the very edge of this sphere. So that tells you what it is. Basically, the sphere is like literally 16 AU across. That's big. That's a big sphere. So let's jump on over here on PyCon Prime, and we'll have a look at our few upgrades. Yep, there we go, and boom. Oh yeah. We got a few more guns. We got a few more guns. Yep, we sure do. You betcha. I have added multiple layers of guns now. So, of course, I mean, again, yep, it's a thing we did. It's pretty cool. What can you say? It's pretty cool. Let's turn her up this way a little bit. Yep. So it is pew-pewing the guns. Pew 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 pew. I mean, I remember the very first time I made those guns, and I had them going around the center of my first planet and all that stuff, and I thought that was just so cool. Yeah. Now it's just crazy. now I'm just ridiculous, right? But yeah, I added a lot more guns. Because of course we are making 10,000 of these sales a minute, and gosh darn, I want to be launching 10,000 of them suckers a minute, because we want to fill this thing in. So I kept throwing guns at it. Yes, I do have a few slight problems. The problem being is that, of course, I'm out of landfill. I mean, I kept filling in landfill, but well, I've got 148 now, but I was down to like 7. You know, you can only fill in so much land to keep putting stuff down, and then you just run out of landfill. So yeah, but I am still making more guns back on Planet Max, and I will probably keep adding guns until the power dies out. That being said, we are making more power. Another thing is that I've converted all the dishes to power generation. And of course, these things are exposed all the time, right? And not only that, so they're at continuous receiving 100% for max output. And of course, I mean, we are just pumping in power. Now, obviously, we're doing a gigawatt of power in the generators, but you know, we're doing a lot of power in the array receivers now because. Heck, I got a big, huge battery right out there. Look at that. I mean, there's a mega battery, right? And if I need more power, I'll just slam down more of these. No problem now. As mentioned, we're not launching any rockets at the moment as we do up more stash, but we will be shortly. Of course, I mean, we're just kind of letting things catch up a little bit. Letting some of these nodes catch up on their solar sail absorption while we're building up some rockets. And, of course, we're going to do that. So, with that, what are we doing? Well, now, basically, we're going to do a little bit of planet touring. I'm going to get the rockets relaunching, and we're going to, do a couple of time lapses on that. So, we're going to cover some planets, do a couple of time lapses, and overall, hopefully either at the end of this video or another quick video after this one is going to have one complete submission of a Dyson Sphere. And yes, I would love to fill in the whole thing, but I have already been working on this now for like 4 days. So if I haven't been working, the last 8 days, if I haven't been working, I've been playing this game. And, I mean, the computer hasn't been turned off now it's got to be like 110 hours, right? I would really love to turn the computer off, give it a rest. The poor old 2080 card in it, the fan's in there sometimes. Holy smokes, I'm pretty sure it's getting ready to, really gonna hate me. That's the thing. So with that, this is gonna have to be what it is because of unfortunately the game update is probably gonna break this file. If it doesn't, we're going to come back and we're going to keep filling this in with more stuff until it gets all done. I'll have probably some openings in it like this or whatever, however I do the pattern, but if we can get back, of course we come back. But if not, at least we can say we did a thing with 4 or 5 million rockets, and about 15 million sales, and we're good to go. So with that, let's do a time lapse and tour some planets and see what happens. Planet Max. You know, for a starting planet, it turned out really well, you know. Yes, here, of course, we're flying right over the beginner's mall and the beginner's smelting area. And then, of course, this is where we then fly over the expanding science as we continue to fly around to the, well, I'll call it the west. We're on our side here at the moment, of course. That being said, I mean, it was a little shaky at the first. I wasn't quite sure when I put the my beginner smelting area and my mall area down if it was going to work out well. But I mean, it worked out better than expected. I mean, really, that mall area. I mean, the blueprint of that area is so small, yet builds so much stuff at the moment. I mean, it really is a pretty amazing place. In fact, I think I'm going to fine-tune it and actually kind of put some sort of blueprinting together on that mall. Now, yes, I do have a slight problem, and that is that obviously if I exit the game, I may not be able to get that blueprint to work. So what I'm going to do is as I get a little closer to the end, I'm going to come back here. I'm going to try and take a big blueprint of everything and then try and save it somewhere, and then see if I can't somehow like load up a default save file. So like I'll probably take the blueprint, take it back to my Series 1 save file, try to build it in there temporarily, because default files, they say, should load. So I should be able to load that file even after the update. And then, of course, what should happen is I should be able to then tweak it, rebuild it, and with their new blueprint system, I should hopefully be able to do something with it. Now, that being said, who knows? I could totally lose the whole thing, and I'll be really bummed out. But let's have a quick stop in here to have a look at it. I mean, it really is something. You know, here we have the original Smelters Mall right here on the left, and then we have the expanded Smelters Mall on the right, which of course handles silicon or silicone, whatever you want, titanium and titanium alloy. And because of that, you could then make more advanced materials. So right out of that, you could make advanced chips, right? We could make with the copper and the silicon or silicone. Of course, we were making components, which allowed us to make advanced chips, which of course, you know, we can make solar panels out of that. And then of course we could start making modulars and drones. Of course, we were then able to get all of our, whatchamacallit things here. Colliders up and running, and Deuterion up and running, and all that stuff. Of course, that allowed us to make these wonderful mini, I wish they just call them blue turbo motors, these super magnetic rings, right? Which of course allow us to get tier 3 stuff, right? Tier 3 belts, because of course that's what they need, which is great. So with that, and I mean, this is all compressed into this little area. I mean, it is really, really something. You know, between the oil running at the top and then, you know, the mall area here and then the smelting area here, it turned out really, really well. Now, that being said, I would really love to redesign this a little bit better to kind of take advantage of later tech. I kind of fluke-lucked into some of this, so of course things like just kind of like how the right-hand side of the mall, the Smelters Mall turned out and stuff, and how this was able to fit on the bottom. But I would like to be able to kind of design this maybe a little bit cleaner to kind of take care of that. And then of course the other thing I'd like to do is, of course, my original design mall has this lane at the bottom which then wraps on itself across the top. That worked great. I should have left myself 5 more spaces in the middle, though. So what that would be for is then I could run my 3 lanes of advanced material, as I'll call them, right? Which, of course, is your supermagnetic rings, steel, and like graphite or graphene down the middle. And then I could have another strip of mall to then borrow from the outside edges to run in the center edge. And that would have saved me a little bit of hassle with a few of these little side belt things, but I think that's what I will do. I will probably do that. So, Planet Max, yeah. I mean, it runs great. I mean, it's not doing very much at the moment. Well, you wouldn't think it is, but it actually is very busy at the moment. It's making deuterium fuel. One of the things it's doing, and we use a lot of it, right? It's keeping up. It's a fine line. I'll tell you that right now. It's a fine line. Like it keeps up, but it's barely keeping up. Sometimes it's a little behind, sometimes it gets a little ahead, but it's actually very interesting for all the time that's gone on. Because I'm approaching 250 hours on this save, and I have watched these boxes go back and forth, and sometimes, and one time it was down to the last 3 boxes, and I was really worried. So this is where, of course, we have, of course, our deuterium casinos. And we love those casinos. They're the best, right? I had to make more of them. Of course I did. Whew. I just had to sneeze there. That was crazy. So, of course, we have our deuterium casinos down here. And, of course, making lots of that deuterium to make deuterium fuel, because we need all the fuel. And, of course, this has kept things running. The hydrogen planets, of course, being right next door, of course, is keeping, all the power we could use. I mean, we're only using about half of this power, and that's fine. That's perfectly fine. Haven't done any science in a while, but then again, I guess the only thing I could really do science now on this point. Again, I could keep slamming away at upgrades. I did start the Mecha Core upgrade, but I stopped it. I could keep slamming away at upgrades, but if I was doing more, then yeah, that was the plan. The plan was we were going to keep pushing these upgrades, keep expanding out to the other 12 systems. Now, don't get me wrong. It has turned out that we are actually using let me flip this around the right way. The whole left side is almost in use to feed the blue giant. But my plan was to keep science rolling and use the planets on the right to keep feeding Planet Max, while the planets on the left we're going to keep going to feed feeding Scorpio and Pycon and that stuff. And unfortunately, we're losing out on that. But that's all right, because, like I said, I can always start a new series. Late summer, we can always get into making another new series, and I'd like to try it. I'd really like to try it with even less planets. I think the challenge would be really, really awesome. Because again, you see lots of people doing it with, I'm going to make 100,000 sails and 10,000 rockets a minute and stuff like that. Yeah, well, you try that if you only got 4 planets, or something crazy like that, right? You got to be kind of really smart with your resources, kind of deal. So, I'm definitely going to try this type of challenge again with even less planets and see what happens. And definitely, that's a thing I'm going to do. Now, with that, so of course, Planet Max is Planet Max. I mean, it's Planet Max. And it has done well for the series. It's fun to look at. It's very well balanced, and overall, yeah, the entire system itself was kind of like a precursor to Scorpio. Is probably the best way I could put that. Thanks, autosave. I'm glad you're still doing a thing. Now, there's not very many rockets flying around in here at the moment because we're not using a whole lot of stuff. You will notice, by the way, there is nothing left on this planet. There's no iron, no copper. Obviously, there's no silicon or titanium. There is 1 million stone, but there's no coal. Right? Everything is imported and has been imported for over 100 and some hours. So this was kind of like a precursor. And when you run science, yeah, like all the little ships that fly around in this little triangle is pretty cool because there's no iron here at all. The Maximus system is void of iron. I know, that's pretty crazy, right? Yes, it does have the rest of the stuff, but it has no iron here. It gets iron from out there, and that's why you see ships zipping in back and forth here because that's where all the iron ore is coming from. It was a great exercise, beginner's exercise into me getting Scorpio up and running, and of course that's where we're going to probably head off to next and have a look at all the coolness there. With that, let's do a little bit more time lapsing, and we'll jump to another one. So we're on our way to Virgon to have a look at the planets there. But I'm now going to turn and show you something else. We are like almost 3 light years away from the blue giant star, and you can see it. That's how big it is. That's crazy. Okay. So there, of course, is Scorpio and its star. Maximus is behind me. There's Maximus. It's 3 light years behind me. So that's about it's just around a little under 2 light years now, actually. And yeah, that's something you can see from 2 light years away. That's huge. That is pretty cool. So of course, I just thought I'd stop here because I was warping from the Maximus system over to the Virgon system, and of course you have to go by PyCon to do that. And going by PyCon, there's a big sphere being built there. You betcha. So. Just a fun little jaunter. Let's carry on with another time lapse and see what happens. So here we are in the Virgon system. Now, the Virgon system, like most of the systems in this playthrough and the plan, was of course to be a supply system. We probably weren't going to be building very much. Of course, the plan was mostly to use them as supply systems. Now, 8 of the systems actually aren't very good. I mean, they're not bad. I mean, they've got a couple, they got a couple million iron and a couple million copper. But 2 of the systems were good, right? Virgon is one of them. And so, of course, this system has like 40 million iron and 40 million copper. And it has like 38 million stone, right? It turns out I need a lot of stone because Scorpio does not have it, which is where all these guys are going. All these guys are going to Scorpio to back and forth from Scorpio and back and forth because of stone. And this is actually a pretty cool view, right? Watching so many ships flying from Virgon to Scorpio. They're flying from Scorpio to Pycon, of course, because that's where the Blue Giant is. There are also flights coming from Maximus to Pycon and Maximus to Scorpio because, of course, Maximus is handling a lot of the fuel transfer. So that's what's going on there. It does have fuel transfer over here, but because we don't use a lot of fuel here, Maximus only sends like a freighter along every once in a while. So it's not nearly as very frequent here. Now, we're going to make a stop here. I think we'll choose 3. I actually have 2 planets on the go in here, going almost full tilt. I have 3 and I have 4. Now, again, I am really using these 2 planets for the stone, okay? Because that's basically what I need out of these. And so, of course, as mentioned, like there's almost 40 million stone here. Where am I going? Holy smokes. There's 1. There's 4. No, that's 5. Learn to count. Okay. There's 2. Where is 3, 4? Well, I guess if I just follow the flashes of light, there we go. Look at that. See, you just follow the flashes of light. You can kind of find this stuff out. So let's stop over here at 3. Let's do that first. And yep, over this way you go. Yipper, and boom. There we are. Now, it looks pretty plain, but they actually are. So, as you can see, it's very plain. But what's weird is where there is stone, it was in the millions, right? So, stone, 1.1 million. And I mean, these have been working on this for a while. Why are you not doing a thing? Why are you not working? Oh, you're titanium. Oh, okay, that's fine. I was going to say, but I am a little concerned because these are actually looking pretty low. Oh, yeah, there's lots of down arrow action happening here. Okay, that's actually something I'll have to keep an eye on. But as you can see, there isn't a lot of deposits here, but the deposits are usually really big, right? So like the titanium veins, they're all like 1 to 1.5 million, right? And that's the way the stone was. Is the word, because as you can see, they are dwindling. We are literally taking stuff. All the stone goes back to Scorpio. It is pretty crazy. A lot of these feeder planet types. You could say they're not exciting to look at. That being said, they are a fair amount of work. There is no blueprinty way to put miners down, right? Okay, so that's Virgon 6. You're going to Virgon 3. If I find Scorpio, I can find usually where I want to go. There we go. Thank you. Yeah, putting down miners and things takes a lot of time. Like it is not a quick process. And in fact, it is probably now the time bottleneck. Oh, please don't miss it. Thank you. It is now probably my my time bottleneck. Again, can we do this? Can I do this? Yeah. Again, I'm just collecting a lot of stone. When I first arrived here, there was a lot, like these piles were like, 1.5 million. I've already eaten half of them up. So look at this, right? This is 1.2 million. In fact, that's kind of weird. Why aren't you moving? It's very rare to see one of them not moving. We use a lot of stone. But anyway, so these are just feeder planets, but they are very important. Of course, without them, we would be toasted. The amount of stone I have used on Scorpio 5, wow, you can tell. We have a feeder train of ships going back and forth from this system to Scorpio, and it's mostly just stone back and forth. It's just a lot of rock going back and forth between these two systems. All of these ships that you see right here at this very moment on the left, this is all stone ships. There's got to be 50, 60 ships in this line here at any one time, just warping back and forth for stone. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. So, the Virgon system. It may be just some feeder planets, but they're very important planets. Okay, let's see what we can do with a little bit of time warpy stuff, and we'll flip on over to Scorpio to have a look at that one. So here we are on the edge of the Scorpio system, and sure enough, the first planet to have a look at is Scorpio 5. Now, Scorpio 5 is very unique because it is almost getting all of its material from outside of the Scorpio system. Again, this is the glass-making stone planet. Now, that's because it was the only planet that had any significant stone to begin with. And if we zoom out here for a second, it had 3 million stone to start. It's all gone. It's been gone for quite some time. And, of course, so this is where we started our glass-making facilities. Because, of course, you need a lot of glass. And, I think, what is it, like 400 machines? I don't know. There's a whole lot of machines here making glass. Glass and prisms. Because you need this stuff for solar sails, you want to make 10,000 solar sails? Well, then you better make yourself a lot of glass. And, of course, it is now 100% dependent on the Virgon system to get that stone to convert into glass. And, of course, then allows us to make prisms. So the front-end machines, the local demand, there is no demand. These have been out for a long, long time. And, of course, everything is getting picked up here. Like, the second we're making it, we're getting rid of it. The back end, of course, is the stuff that's super busy all the time. We are warping in stone all the time. And, of course, that is pretty cool. So that is what's going on here on Planet 5. It's actually the simplest of the planets, but its importance and the scope of what it's doing is actually pretty crazy. Let's see. There's 3, there's 2, there's 1. I found 3, 2, 1, but where's 4? Where's 4? If I follow you, will you take me to 4? Will you take me to 4? Are you going to take me to 4? No, you're going to take me to 3. Well, gosh darn it all. Where are you hiding 4 at? All right, just hold on a second here. No, that's not going to do it. That's not going to do it. Well, you know what? We'll come back to 4. We'll go to Prime instead. You know, you know what? You don't want to give me 4? No. Wait a minute. 4's got to be close by. It can't be. It's way on the other side. Holy smokes. It is way on. You know what? Let's go to Prime next. Let's just do Prime. So, Scorpio Prime. Yeah. Now, Scorpio Prime is Prime. One thing Scorpio 5 is doing, yeah, don't go by it now. Don't go by it. One thing Scorpio 5 is doing, of course, is glass. It is the stone converter. If that is the case, then Scorpio Prime is handling the others. So this is where we take iron, copper, titanium, and convert that into usable material, right? Iron plate, copper plate, or gears, rings, which then make magnetic rings, which make motors, which make supermagnetic rings, turbo motors. All that stuff is made here, of course, on Scorpio Prime. We, of course, also make the chips here. We make green chips and orange chips are made here. Yes, quantum computers are made over on Scorpio 3, but motors and up to orange chips are made here on the same planet as its primary resource. It is the most stacked of the Scorpio planets, followed really closely by Planet 4 and Planet 3. But of course, because this is doing like 4 of the main ingredients, of course it has like the most stuff because just of what it's doing. So yeah, it's a very busy planet doing very busy things. And it's cool to watch from space. I'll give it that. That's for sure. We have a lot of towers doing a lot of droney things, and a lot of flying around all the time, making me lots of material, so as we can have lots of them rockets and solar sails. Okay, let's pop on out here because we are now going to want to go to 4. If I can find 4, where is 4? That's 3. Scorpio 4. I see you. You're trying to hide on me there, but you're not doing a very good job. So we're going to find you. I'm going to find you. Yipper. I'm probably going to have to hit the brakes on this again. Yeah, can we hit it? Can we hit it? Oh, yeah, we're going to hit it. There we go. Okay, Scorpio 4, of course, is our oil / silicone planet, is what it is. How about I turn like this? I don't know which way it is, but we'll try this way first. Okay, I'm upside down. So in this particular case, not nearly the big oil build that I did like in my first series. Just not needed. Much more efficient with the hydrogen to deuterium casinos, and with the alternate recipes. Basically, I'm using this for the graphite and not much else. And even then, I only needed so much graphite. The graphite here is being used for the super blue, what I call the blue turbo motors, but they're the super magnetic rings, the blue rings. And that's the only thing we're really using the graphite for. We're not using it for graphene. Graphene is coming from the fire ice. So that's why we don't need that. In fact, here it is over here. And the reason we're making it here is because a byproduct of this is hydrogen. And one of the things I'd like to kind of focus on maybe in a future series is how you have different sources of a thing. So like you get hydrogen from this, you get hydrogen from oil, you get hydrogen from your gas giants, and you have to be able to balance all that to make sure everything keeps running. So you'll notice here, if you had too much hydrogen at any one time, this would all clog up. But you also need a lot of hydrogen because, and I'm sorry I'm moving this screen a bit fast because I'm looking for a particular thing. Here we go. For the Casimir crystals, you need a lot of hydrogen. And a lot of hydrogen. That being said, if your rocket production's running a little behind, suddenly you don't need a lot of crystals, and a lot of your hydrogen backs up really fast. So you've got to have like a balancing act with it all, and some bleed out valves, which is what I've got going on here. At the same time, you can also be running short on hydrogen. So I have gas giant towers in the back, but I have these bleed off valves in the front, all meanwhile collecting gas locally and trying to keep it all in balance. And actually, it's working really well at the moment, so I'm not going to touch anything. I'd love to do something on a series with that at some point in time. But yes, this is basically the planet, which is giving us materials and stuff for finished products here on Planet 4. And again, I must admit, I do like these ocean jungle worlds. They are really nice looking to be on. And overall, it's doing a job. It's doing a job for us, right? And doing it quite well. I'm pretty happy about that. Now it's time to go to the finishing planet. And of course, that is going to be Planet 3. So we'll just swip right on over here. We can see lots of ships warping in to Planet 4. That is pretty cool. And we'll just jump right on over here to Planet 3. Planet 3, of course, is where we have everything coming into to wrap up. Yep, stop. Thank you. Thanks, left hand. I knew you would miss it. I had a feeling. Here, of course, on Planet 3 is the final destination for the things, right? We're building the finished materials. So this, of course, is where we're building the solar sails. This is where we're building the rockets and the rocket main components. And, of course, we've got a lot of my hydrogen casinos here. Now, these ones, this deuterium here, we're only using two sources. This hydrogen coming in here is only coming from the gas giant, and it's only being used in deuterium, and it's only used for the deuteron fuel. That's its only purpose. We don't use hydrogen here for anything else. But I mean, again, now I guess if my first series had the really cool oil build setup, then I guess I would call this series the really cool casino build setup. Because these crackers, they do a great job. I must admit, they do a great job. And their odds are like 1% chance. But I must admit, I think their odds are better than 1% a lot of the time. Because, I mean, look at this. This machine's continuously spitting out like deuterium. Look, see, just spit out 2 right there. I mean, it's perfectly fine. These lines are plugged full. So, yeah, their odds may say 1%, but I think you actually get a little better than that out of them. It's pretty good. And, of course, with our finished products here, we, of course, have all the wonderful things. So, of course, where's my sails? Where's my sails? Oh, they're on the back. Oh, they're on the night side. Yeah, and we, of course, have been stashing up. We're ready to go another round of heavy sail duty. That's for sure. In fact, I will probably, from this point out, I probably won't stash sails anymore. I'm probably just going to let these boxes run out and then just let it make whatever it can make. And then just kind of keep running it that way until it fills in. And I'm hoping to be able to fill in all those pieces. Again, time is definitely against me now. But hopefully we can do that and see what happens. Okay, let's do one more transition. And, of course, we'll see you back on the final system. Oh, thanks, autosave, for doing that. We'll go back over to PyCon and the Blue Giant Star, and of course we're going to have a look at that to kind of wrap things up on this one. I will see you there shortly. finally, the tour has to end somewhere, and of course, that is in the PyCon system. We, of course, are on PyCon Prime, which, which of course, is literally just a ball with a bunch of guns on it. I mean, really, it's all it is. That and a massive amount of solar ray receivers collecting power. Yeah, we haven't actually used any other kind of power except for the power of the Dyson Sphere here for some time, which has made things a lot easier in terms of the deter on fuel costs and all that stuff. That there was a little bit of a power shortage there when we first started, but we haven't had any power shortages like that in a long time. One, we're not launching rockets; we haven't launched rockets in a while, and of course, two. Yeah, we put out a lot of power here, a lot of power. So let's flip this around so as we can actually see what we've got, because it is basically all done. Yepper, it's all done, filled in, and looks really good for what it is. Yep, let's even zoom out here a little bit. Of course, it's still shooting solar sails because it will continue to shoot solar sails. It's never going to stop doing that unless I turn the guns off. So, of course, it does that really well. But here, we'll zoom in on the actual star itself. All right, there we go. So PyCon, of course, with its with what we are being able to do with the time I have, I've now had the game running and the computer running. Oh, it's got to be 11. I think it's 11 days now. And so, I mean, it's done filling things in. And for this pattern, it's time to shut the computer down. Time to shut the game down. So it's going to be as done as it is. Now, I would love to come back in and maybe one day, add like prism type shapes to the center of these and then fill them in, and I think that would be awesome. But they just released a whole new set of patch notes about all the stuff that breaks and changes and all that stuff, and I'm noticing I will probably not be able to get this file to load once I get out of the game. It's probably a done deal. Which is, makes me a little sad, but at the same time, I am quite happy with the accomplishment here. This was huge. All right. Yeah. I mean, you're talking about 25,000 rockets, I think it was, and about there's 22,520 internodes, and here I'll show you what I mean. Get out of that view for a second. So let's pick a node. Oh, by the way, so this is your default sphere around a blue giant star, and don't get me wrong, plenty big that is, but obviously we went with this one. This is the much bigger thing, and like I say, it is really weird. Because this is almost, I think it starts at 200,000 or something like that. It is almost 200,000 across, and it's just it's pretty crazy overall. But if we take one of the nodes, I gotta turn this on here, Max, because you gotta take a node here. So if you take a node, of course you get two numbers. We get structure points and cell points, right? So the total of structure points in this at the moment is 22,520. And the total of cell points is 1 million, just shy of 1,300,000 is where it is, so it takes a little time. Like I said, I think one of the mods that was out there would allow us to absorb solar sails a lot faster than it did, which is kind of been one of my holdups. The amount wasn't the fact that I couldn't launch sails at it fast enough, hence the 200 or the 300,000 sails I have in orbit. They just wouldn't absorb fast enough, and I could not get the nodes any closer together. I tried. I tried to get as many nodes in as possible. Wasn't going to happen. So yeah, it's a it's one of those things. As a future mod, I think what I'll do is I will try to see if that mod still exists, and overall, hope to get the sales in there faster. So it is doing 472 gigawatts, which is pretty crazy. 452 of that comes from the nodes and everything that's in there. And then, of course, we do have 300,000 sales floating around there at the moment for 20 gigawatts. So that is where that is. Now, at this point in time, I want to thank everybody for watching the series. Of course, I thank everybody for watching all my videos. Of course, we do a lot of crazy things. And at the timing of this come out, of course, we are into the summertime events. Because, of course, I'm having to record these pretty far ahead due to the update and all that stuff. So, this is probably going to be about 3.5 weeks later from that. But of course, what I have lined up is the summertime fun time stuff for summertime. Because here in Canada, of course, we don't get a lot of summer, so we got to take advantage of it. But we're definitely doing that. But I want to thank everybody for watching the series. Of course, we're definitely gonna do this again. In fact, as mentioned, I think I'm gonna do it even with less systems. I would like to try and do that. I did notice now with the Type 3 civilization maps and all that stuff, I will probably do a default series just to kind of, get my name out there on that, because of course, that's a thing. And get a system going up in that. But I would love to do a series where I only do let's say maybe 6 or 7 systems, just to really push the envelope on what it is you could do. And of course, one of them has to be a blue giant star, because come on, that's what it's all about, right? Now, the way I would probably do that is the way I was going to do this one. I was going to do an initial setup around the blue giant, but then start building other spheres in the other systems while also continuing to work on the blue giant. So we would come back and look at the blue giant's progress while working on other spheres in the other systems, and that is kind of the plan. But I do have to shut the computer down. I can't keep this version of the game, which is 0.6, running any longer. So it's unfortunate. If it works again, we'll come back. We'll see how it is. But I want to thank everybody for watching the series. And watching all my series, wherever it is you're watching. I always appreciate it. Got a really cool set of stuff going on here, and hey, I'm not going anywhere. I'm going to keep playing these games, so I'm going to keep putting the videos out. That's what we do. So many new things to learn. So many things learned, right? So of course, just fine-tune balancing of things. Doing of things, it's all really cool stuff. I hope everybody enjoyed the series. I hope everybody enjoys the time lapses and all that stuff. Of course, like I said, we're gonna do another one. Of course we're gonna do another one. When you've got in the middle of winter here in Canada, when you got a bunch of snow around you basically video games. It's what we do. With that, I'm Max. This has been the Dyson Sphere, the 12 colonies. Thank you very much for watching. I really appreciate it. And of course, we're going to do another series. Probably more than one on DSP, because it is such a great game. And I am going to see you on the next one. Take care.